2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.
Hey, Trojan family, what's up? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud. Thank you for always making this show a part of your day. This is hopefully going to be your number one source for USC Trojans news, as we are here daily, often, with all the breaking news and all the latest in recruiting. And that's what I'm getting into right now. More recruiting news, 2027 prospects. Got a litany of guys that have started narrowing down their lists. As I've said many times, USC is expected to start getting the commitments rolling in, maybe one or two before the end of the new year, or before the end of the year, but most likely at the turn of the new year is when those will start coming. You got the Navy All-American Bowl on January 10th, plus some other of those all-star games in January. And then as we know from this past cycle, the spring is where they'll really start ramping things up, getting guys on campus for official visits in the spring and late or early summer, late spring. And so that's when things will ramp up. So, I don't know if anyone is, but if anyone's worried that USC currently has 0 commits in the 27 class, I definitely would not be worried at all. They are in line for a lot of good ones, and they'll probably just start stacking up some commitments here coming soon and just roll them all off. And like we've been saying, it's going to be a smaller class, 15, 20 guys, probably max in this class. We're not going to see the 35 again that we saw in 2026. So a couple of guys here to talk about. First, let's start with John Ione. I hope I'm saying that right, last name. Defensive tackle, also plays offensive line, so a real versatile player for the Tustin Tillers down in Orange County. I said a couple videos ago that Tustin's got some talented dudes on this team in this cycle, and you hope that they can start to translate that to performance and CIF rankings and whatnot in the future. But they've got some talented players that were on this team. They're going to be seniors, so they could be a really good team in the high school ranks next year. But John Ione cut his list down to 10, and that includes USC. So his 10 right now are Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, Arizona State, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina, and Utah. So all the big players that be. Really, you see a theme here. You get a couple of big names across the country, A&M, Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina, kind of a throw in there, but then the rest really West Coast based. Oregon, Washington, both LA schools, Arizona State, Utah. So you can tell that the trend is definitely wanting to stay closer to home. USC, I think, is the team to beat right now. They've been recruiting him real hard from the beginning. He's been on campus multiple times. He said to Rivals, I have a solid connection with the USC staff. I've been there more than anywhere, and I have a strong comfort level at the school. And they've been, recruiting him as a defensive lineman. And so a guy that could be a really good addition, a really maybe starting point potentially for the 2027 class. He's still pretty far away from making a decision. I'm guessing it probably will not be until late spring, early summer. Make as many trips as he can. He wants to do an official visit to USC. They have all been really unofficial. So get that official visit. I think he wants to visit Washington. I'm sure he'll want to visit Oregon as well. So as we know, USC, no visit policy once you commit. So like they'll tell all the recruits, hey, if you want to still make your visits, go do it now. When you're ready to commit, come back to us and let's lock this thing in. So Ione is the 23rd ranked defensive lineman in Rivals industry rankings, 6'3", 280, Obviously, if he's going to be a pure defensive tackle, going to have to put on a little bit of weight there, but, just going into his senior year and at that 6'3" frame certainly can do so. So if he can get up to that 295, 300 range, we'll have a great body type for what USC is looking for in the interior. So USC sitting good. I think right now they are the team to beat, but still a ways out from a commitment, but they're the team to beat. Next up, Keeman Spell, the number 1 running back in the 2027 class. He's the number 1 running back across every recruiting ranking. So it's not just like industry rankings combining. Rivals, 247, ESPN all have him listed as their number 1 running back. In the industry ranking, he's the number 3 overall prospect. So 5-star. He was originally committed to Penn State, decommitted after obviously the firing there and whatnot. So that's all up in the air. Doesn't mean Penn State won't re-engage with their new hire in Matt Campbell, but it certainly changes things a lot. And he just released his 5 schools, and those 5 include USC. So much better than the top 10, top 12. We're in the top 5 range for the number 1 running back in the 2027 class, and USC makes the cut with Georgia, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Miami. So again, doesn't even have Penn State in his top 5, but we'll see if Matt Campbell and them do re-engage and try to get him kind of back in there. In regards to USC, he told Rivals, USC was an awesome place. I got there and everybody loved me. I got to sit down with a coach and a running back coach, and we got to talk about personal questions like what I would like to major in and things like that. He wasn't just worried about football. He's worried about school and other good things, and that's something I look forward to. I've tried to read these quotes a lot because we're seeing a theme here. And I think this is really important. Like, a lot of people can say this, but USC is clearly emphasizing a lot, like all that USC has to offer, right? Like Chad Bowden, Jen Cohen, they've all been kind of, the moniker, the place to be. And it's been this established of like, hey, there's no place like USC. But that's all lip service until you kind of really build that mantra. And when you have recruits saying that the coaches are talking to them about more than just the football field, obviously that's what's most important. That's what we're talking about is, the gridiron and building this program. But that's important, and that's a huge selling point that USC has. I mean, it's December 10th right now. It's 83 degrees outside. What other school can offer that outside of UCLA? What other school can offer that? And then you look at all of USC's academics, all the majors they offer, all the alumni, all the celebrities, the locale in Hollywood and all that. So the fact that USC's coaches are leaning into that, aside from like, hey, here's what I can develop you as a football player, but hey, what else are you interested in? Like, we want guys that live and breathe football, but there is going to be some downtime. And what are you interested in? How can we help you achieve those goals? So, Keeman Spell definitely reiterated that. And so you figure what USC's running back room looks like right now with these 2026 commits in Deshaun Rideau and Sean Alston. And then if you can somehow add the number 1 running back in the 27 class, like that room is just going to be dynamic for the next 6 to 7 years. And I think it always will be. They've never had any issues getting a talent at running back, even in the transfer portal. So never a concern with the skill positions. But hey, if you can get the number 1 guy in the country, why not? So moving on now to Danny Lang. We'll keep this quick. I've talked a ton about Danny Lang. USC is still in a very good spot for him. They are the heavy favorite. He is likely not going to announce his commitment until July 2nd. That's his birthday. So he said he thinks that's a good time to lock it in. Wants to take some official visits first. And those official visits will include USC, also probably Ohio State, Ole Miss, and Oregon. So definitely not over yet. But as I've been saying, when it comes to the secondary and the defensive back room, USC in a really strong standing with Danny Lang, Aaron Washington. Those are both the modern-day teammates. And then you look at Honor Falave Johnson, the safety in San Diego. You look at Gavin Williams, the safety at Damien in Laverne. And then Duve Williams, the cornerback from Jay Sarah. So those 5 defensive backs, local kids, USC is probably the front runner for all 5 of them. We'll see if they want to take all 5 or if it's kind of a one odd man out as they look for 4. But Danny Lang definitely in a good spot. And finally, Noah Roberts, the 5th ranked running back in the 2027 class. 6'1", 190 out of Chandler, Arizona. He's the 80th overall player in Rivals industry rankings, Rivals 300. So really talented kid. So you figure if they go for 2 running backs again, if they lock in number 1 and number 5, that's great. If they miss out on Keeman Spell, but they can land a guy like Noah Roberts, that's a very good consolation prize. His number 1 team originally, now he just announced his top 10, and the school is still in them. Well, he announced, I should say, 2 days ago. So I'll just say it like this. So his top 10, USC, Washington, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Arizona State, Oregon, Texas, and Michigan. And Michigan was seen as by many as the front runner for his commitment. Now, we all know the news. I released a video just earlier today. Sharon Moore shockingly fired by Michigan for cause. So that will certainly have an effect on his recruitment. Sure, he's still interested in the program. I mean, it's Michigan. It's a big brand. But depending on the coaching hire, that certainly changes things. So what I said on that video of like, hey, why are you covering a Michigan coaching firing, is because there's going to be trickle-down effects that do affect USC, and one of those is in recruiting. And so this list of 10 may drop down to 9 now with that change, which puts USC in an even better spot to potentially land him. All right. Lot thrown at you there. So those are the latest of kind of some 2027 prospects that are trending towards USC, or at least in good favor with USC right now as we get to the new year and start stacking up these spring visits, and that's when those commitments will start to happen. So keep it right here for all things USC recruiting. I got you covered 24/7. This is the USC LAFB show. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us out. Become a member. Pick up some merch. We need Lemon to win this Bolitnikov, right? Maava, Lemon, let's get that done. Make that happen. So you can pick up merch at LAFBnetwork.com. While you're there, check out our message board. But if you become a member, you'll get discount for life on all merch. Not a one-time discount. That discount code works for everything in our merch store forever. So I've said in the last 2 videos, be back tonight at 7 p.m. live. Myself, Tim Prangley, the call-in show right here on USC LAFB. We'll see you all there. And as always, fight on. Hey, Trojan family, thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers, they've got live stat updates, they've got a chat you can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose J.D. Maiyava in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10, so now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also, right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free, go make a deposit, use USC LAFB, and now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family, and when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.